Does anyone use the saying, phone, keys, wallet? I use that fairly often. Phone, keys, wallet. And then I add water bottle. I like to have... When I'm leaving my house, I'm focused on so many things, and I want to make sure that the dogs have been let out if I'm leaving for a while, and I'm dressed and ready for whatever I'm going to, and that I've done everything I planned on doing before I leave. I've taken everything with me that I needed. And sometimes in a hurry to do all of those things, I forget one of the most important things, like my wallet or my phone. Usually I don't get too far with my keys. I need to lock the door behind me, or if I'm driving, I do need the key to make the car go. I'm sure you all have your routines as well, especially if you're looking after other humans. They're a lot harder. The things you need to do to get out of the house. I think the fact that we have these sort of phrases like phone, keys, wallet speaks to how busy our lives are. These are fairly simple things, and yet I think we've all forgotten one of them before. Many people speak about Sundays as a good day to reset their lives, to rest. They come to church and remember the things that are most important. This past Sunday, several of us gathered in the kitchen to make the communion bread for this evening. We had 3 young people and a parent and another special guest. And we all made bread together. I spent a lot of time talking to them about communion, so much that if you were there, I might repeat myself, but don't tell anyone. I gave them all of my good communion material. But I'll also repeat things because they are that important. We listen to those most important things that Jesus says, and we repeat them over and over. We practice those things that Jesus tells us to do. Because even when they seem simple, it doesn't mean that they are easy. Sometimes we have to fully understand God's love for us in order to fully love others. I'm not exaggerating when I say that pretty much every year I forget what the word Maundy means in Maundy Thursday. I don't know why it was taught to me, and it just, I only use it once a year apparently, but I am proud to say that this year I remembered. I guess it takes that long, but now in a few decades I'll forget. Usually someone asks me and I feel bad because I can't remember, so I look it up, but now finally I remember. It means commandment. Our gospel reading focuses on how Jesus took time to wash each of the disciples' feet. And in doing so, they experience the fullness of his love for them, that he is willing to serve them in this most significant way. He tells his disciples, "I give you a new commandment, that you love one another, just as I have loved you. Just as I have loved you, you should love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another." We're blessed to have an opportunity to experience Christ through Holy Communion. Just as God would do anything to make God's love known to us, communion is something that we practice that helps us experience God's love with all of our senses. And we came up with all these different ways that the senses are used when we celebrate Holy Communion. Even before the meal begins, when I take the cover off of the little chalices of wine, when I remove the the cloth from the bread. I can smell the fragrance of the bread and wine. It's something that we get to touch and hold on to as we receive it and take it. We get to taste this meal. And we believe that the presence of God is in this bread and wine, and it's with us as we take it. And we hear about the commandment that Jesus gave to his disciples to practice this meal each time that we do it. Of course, this is all only one very small example of God's love for us. That's why we call it a foretaste of the feast to come. It's just one little bite. Because one day we believe that we will have a feast with God. One day we believe that we will be fully surrounded by God's love. There are so many things that fight for our attention and demand our attention in this world. And we are sometimes so busy that we forget what is most important. Other voices tell us we are not worthy of love. But those are not voices of truth. And even when we wander, God always calls us back. Our prayer today asks God to write this new command in our hearts. Maybe we should create a short phrase like phone keys wallet that says, I am loved. I am called to love others. One day we will not just hear about God's great love for us. One day we will truly know it and experience it to its fullest. We will live surrounded by it. But for now we live in the promises of God. And we seek to love others. And we remember that Christ first loved us. Amen.